Hello everyone, Gaara here and welcome to a brand new episode of Worst Designed Hearthstone Cards for competitive Hearthstone. And without further ado, let's just jump right into it. I had to spend one episode for my most hated card ever created in Hearthstone that personally affected me in many tournaments, decided my fate, and not just my fate but also the fate of many other players in many tournaments. Yogg Saron, a card that just, yeah, it speaks for itself. So let's kick this off with the first problem about a card like Yogg Saron. When does it become a problem? It becomes a problem if this card is playable in competitive Hearthstone. That is just ridiculous. This card can bring you back into the game from any board position, any hand size, any life deficit. It is ridiculous. It is cool as long as this card is unplayable in competitive decks, in like serious decks where people are just trying to outplay each other. But as soon as this card is playable in a tier 3 deck, it is a huge problem for the competitive scene. But this card wasn't just playable in tier 3 deck, this card was played in some of the best decks that are available to. It was a staple card in Jade Druid, it was a staple card in Tempo Mage. It was played in many different top tier decks, and the last time I went to an offline tournament it was DreamHack Valencia, and it was played in two of the strongest decks that most people brought, which is ridiculous, and that was after it got nerfed. Before Yogg Saron was nerfed, it dominated the competitive scene. It was played in every single tournament lineup for over 7 months. Together with Tuskar Totemic, so many qualifiers for BlizzCon even have been decided by the fates of the gods, this god specifically, and this is just horrible. Like, this card does whatever it plans on doing. It is ridiculous. You cannot possibly play around it, and the most common archetype that was running Yogg Saron was the Druid, and it was just not possible to prevent a Druid from playing Yogg Saron except you played hyper aggressive decks. But not everyone is just gonna play hyper aggressive decks. If you're playing any slower version of deck, Yogg Saron can just beat any deck. If you're a mage with Ice Block, Yogg Saron can just happen to cast a flare, you know, with the very first spell, take out your Ice Block and then go for a brawl and then win the brawl, you know, and then play a sprint, draw a bunch of cards, and then play a couple secrets, and suddenly you lost the game even though you were winning. It's crazy. This card is so bad for competitive play. I mean, I made multiple videos about this. I'm just, you know, summarizing it once again, how bad this is for competitive play, because it is playable. That's what makes this card so bad. It is an actual good card when you play it. You only play this card when the game looks completely hopeless, and then you have still around a 40% chance to still win the game afterwards. That should not be playable. This card should be banned in the very least from competitive Hearthstone, because it makes no sense. Who wants to watch like a very prestigious tournament? Let's say we have 50,000 viewers on Twitch. We are playing the finals, right? It is 2-2. And then one player is about to lose, and then he plays Yogg Saron and does a bunch of crazy stuff and then wins, even though he was the way worse player. Like, what's the point in that? It makes no sense. I think that Yogg Saron is actually the worst card out of all cards for the competitive scene, because it was playable in multiple of the best decks. The playstyle it enforces is ridiculous. It enforces very similar to the Ultimate Infestation. It enforces you to just spam spells. The more spells you spam, the better the Yogg Saron will get. So you can just completely do a bunch of misplays. Like, and a prime example is you just play Wild Growth, you know, you play your refs, your whatever spells, just take out stuff, you don't even think too much about it, you just want to get your spells out, and then you have no cards, you lost the board, you know, you did a bunch of misplays, and then you go innovate Yogg Saron, you have like 8 spells casted during the game, and then you win. But where's the skill in that? It's non-existent. And yeah, it will finally rotate out next year, and I'm really looking forward to that. Yogg Saron, the worst card ever created for competitive Hearthstone. Even after it got nerfed, it found its way back into multiple competitive decks. I'm super happy that he will be gone, and yeah, that's my take on this formidable card. And that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, I'll be back tomorrow with another one. Also make sure to leave a comment, subscribe and like if you enjoyed this video. Also make sure to check out my daily streams, link to that is in the description. Have a nice day, see you guys tomorrow, and peace!